What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. As you guys saw in the last couple of videos, we have finally got the WRX up and running, and this thing has been absolutely amazing. So the goal is, before we do any big crazy projects, we're getting all of the cars up and running. And the second one that you guys have been asking me nonstop for that we really do need to get done is the Evo VIII. This car was running perfectly fine, and then we started having the same exact issue as the WRX, which is so strange that it happened at the same time. But if you look in here, we went ahead, did the whole fuel pump thing, started trying to take out the fuel pump, and we noticed that we have just a bare relay with a bunch of wires connected to it. Now, this is not correct. This is not how everything is supposed to be set up. Tim can better explain what's going on here and how we're gonna attempt to fix the Evo today, because my theory is that when I was driving the car, some of these wires might have gotten loose and the relay might have gotten loose, and one of the wires probably slipped out a little bit. It was causing the car not to crank over, and the car was not getting any fuel. So we have to basically go in, fix this. We're gonna try and remove this relay if possible so that we don't have all of these wires, and just reconnect power wires right here. So either way, I mean, all of this is a mess. The car came with the sub and an amp, and they put plywood in my trunk, which is so strange. It's fine. It's fine. We're actually just gonna try and fix this today. Tim is the mastermind. What are we doing today? What's the plan?
Well, for one, we're gonna fix that. We're gonna remove that. And what we're gonna do, there's 3 relays in this car, and there's 2 underneath the steering wheel and 1 in the engine bay. We need to test every relay and then see what we're working with. In a sense, we need to find which relay is bad, and that's pretty much the gist of it.
Basically, first off, we're gonna start off to see if this relay on the fuel pump went bad, which I don't think it did because the car still cranks randomly. So I think that the relay fuse is still good, but we're gonna test it either way, and then just continuously, when we find the other 3 relays along the car, test all of those and see if they're bad.
This is the stock wiring right here. They're supposed to be connected together. They are not. He ran his own power to it. We really just need to find out if the relay's in the car bad or not, and then we just replace one of those. So maybe we can just connect this back together like it's supposed to be.
Let's try it out. This is Tim's little wiring station here. By the way, look at all the shop mods that Tim has done. This place is looking amazing. So Tim's the wiring guru right now. Tim, lay it down for us.
All right, so we need to test this relay, and you can use your battery drill. And I just made these wires just a minute ago, no joke. And I made it so they can connect to this and show us if the power's working. So the green one I have is the positive, which on here it says positive. So I'll just slip it in that prong, and then the negative one, I slip in the negative side. On these relays, it shows a diagram. So to open the loop, it's 85 and then 86. So on the back side, it has the numbers marked, 85 and 86. So what we need to do is put power to one side and then negative to the other, and it should click if it works right. Do you hear that click? So that means that the relay is working. So in order to test out if the relay is actually getting power the right way through it, you go your multimeter and you go to your ohms, and then you just put these 2 prongs on the outsides. This isn't the right relay, but all right. So now when I put the 2 on there, it's gonna show numbers, and then it should go to 0.
So basically it works.
Yeah.
Okay, so quick update here. It's been a little while. We've been trying to figure out what in the hell is up with this car. And turns out there was nothing wrong with it. We actually removed the relay, and Tim is actually currently right now soldering the power wire. So that's the power wire to the fuel pump relay. We connected them temporarily just to test it out to see what would happen without like aftermarket relay they put in, and the car started up just fine. So Tim is gonna go ahead and solder up the power wire to the fuel pump, so that way it's just already hardwired to the fuel pump. We don't have to worry about an aftermarket relay tapping into the speaker wire, all of that junk. It just goes straight to the fuel pump, which is exactly what we need. So Tim's gonna solder that up. I'm gonna show you guys and start it up, and the car actually runs really, really strong. We put another fresh battery in the Evo, and we should be good to go. After all of that's done, we do have a couple of maintenance things to do. Like, I'm gonna put some new spark plugs in. We have an O2 sensor that needs to go in, as well as some gauges that we have to do as well. So tons of just little things, but as long as we get the car running, I think we should be good. Tim has the power wire to the fuel pump all soldered up. We're gonna go ahead and put the fuel pump cover back on, start the car, let it run, because I mean, the car sounded great, and I don't think that we should have any issues. So go ahead and slide the fuel pump cover back on, and then we can actually put the seats back in, and this car's not gonna look all janky in the rear with the cage and stuff. So getting some stuff done, and I think the Evo's gonna be back on the road really soon.
Moment of truth here. You ready?
Yep. Back, baby. 2 days, both cars running, and now just a bunch of small things to fix. Part one of getting the Evo back on the road is now complete. Now it's for the even more fun part of wiring in these gauges. So we have the AEM boost gauge and the AEM oil pressure gauge, as well as the O2 sensor that we're gonna have to install as well, because mine keeps burning out because it's a little bit too close to the turbo. So eventually we're gonna have to weld another bung a little bit further away from the turbo, but this will do the job for now. I actually have to take a quick intermission here because I have a meeting with McLaren about some top secret stuff that I think you guys will be really excited about. So I will be right back. Quick pit stop at McLaren San Diego. Had to come, little meeting with Montana here about some super secret stuff that I'm very excited to eventually bring to you guys. But as you know, I'm really looking for the 570S. They just sold the Sicilian yellow 570S. I'm not crazy about the yellow, but this is the model McLaren that I'm looking for. God, I freaking love this thing. So figuring out some plans. This is the goal for 500,000 subscribers to get the 570S. So we're trying to make it happen. This is the goal, everybody. But now it's time to go back to the shop and let's finish up the Evo. Tim has made some really good progress. Check on the inside of the car. So Tim has gone through all of the wiring from the Greddy gauges that we have up here, and he's almost finished pulling all of these out. Tim, you wanna give him a little update?
Yeah, the wires are running on the inside of the car and then they come through the firewall right here. I have to extend the O2 sensor for the wideband. I have to extend the wire through, so I already found it and pulled it through. So all I have to do now is take out the old one and put the new one in.
Easy enough.
Yeah.
Okay, we had to end up putting the Evo on the lift because we need to reach the oil pressure sensor down here. Actually needs to be replaced with one from AEM. So this entire bung and everything is gonna be a brand new one from AEM, which will be a lot nicer than that too. So, all right. Oh, fuck me. So maybe forgot about the oil pressure sensor having oil in it, but it's fine. We got the oil pressure sensor out. Let's take a look at the AEM oil pressure sensor. AEM versus the Greddy. Thankfully, they're both the same thread pitch, so we don't have to worry about that. I was kind of worried about AEM and Greddy being different, but ends up being the same. So let's go ahead and start installing it. We don't even have to wire anything because AEM has their own wiring. So literally just boop. Oil line is good. So let's go ahead and start installing everything. We went and got some gasket maker to actually put around the threads on the oil pressure sensor right here so that we don't have any leaking. It kind of looked like we were leaking with the Greddy sensor, so hopefully this prevents that. So go ahead and slap her on there, Tim.
Just put a little dab on your finger and then just go around the threads like this. And then screw it on.
And just thread it in right here. This is a thick boy, so we need a big wrench for this guy. Figured we're already here, might as well do an oil change. I can't remember the last time this car had oil change. So since we're getting it back on the road, I wanna make sure everything's good. And we're doing spark plugs too, so this car is literally gonna be perfectly set. So I just ran the oil, changed the oil filter, had to remember to actually put oil in the car. Funny story, one time we were doing the S2000 and we turned the car on with no oil in the car and then realized it, so can't forget to do that here. But I'm gonna go ahead and remove this O2 sensor since we are doing a new one. Oh yeah, this one's fried, look at this. All that. Absolutely fried. Let me see the new one. Oof. That's pretty gnarly. Okay. O2 sensors in, so now just gotta finish up the gauges. Day 2 of getting the Evo back up and running, and today Tim is gonna go ahead and finish up the gauges, which he's currently doing in right now. I am remembering to fill up the Evo with the new oil, and of course you guys know the best oil on the planet. For now, we're gonna go ahead and fill her up with some 20W50 of the VR1. We should be good to go. Huge thank you to Valvoline for hooking us up with all of the VR1 that we need. We also just got a big shipment in for the S2000, so which all of my stuff came in for the S2000, and you guys will be seeing that very soon. I'm super excited, but let's go ahead and fill up the Evo. Boom. Evo oil is done. Now literally the only thing that has to get done is the spark plugs, and we're good to go. What do you think, Tim, bro?
Yeah, they're starting to fuse together.
Yeah, those are, we definitely needed to change those out. So this is what we're gonna be swapping to. Everything looks okay in the engine bay, so we're just gonna go ahead and throw these back in, and the car's gonna be good and ready to start. We are good to go. We got the spark plugs in, we got the oil change, and let's check out the gauges. Now, our gauge pod actually hasn't even shown up yet. It's been about a week or so since I've actually ordered the gauge pod, and it never even came in. So still waiting on that. I know everything's crazy right now, but a lower center console gauge pod that'll house all 3 of these gauges. So let's go ahead and turn the car on and check out the power going to them. This is a good feeling, Tim. Unfortunately, our O2 sensor was the wrong connection, so we have to order a new O2 sensor. It's cool though. We have our boost gauge right here, which I can actually read my boost levels now, and it's not in KPI. And we have our oil pressure gauge right here as well. So next step is, we noticed that we had a little bit of oil on the oil pressure sensor down below. I'm gonna go ahead and start the car, and Tim's gonna look underneath the car to make sure that we don't have any leaks at the oil pressure sensor. So enough of me talking here. Let's go ahead and start the Evo up. Oh, right up, baby. So excited to go drive this thing right now. Good, man, good. All right, cool. So we'll drop it and go for a ride. First ride. Oh my god, this is Tim's first ride in the Evo. It's back. This clutch is pretty brutal too. The new ACT clutch is amazing that I got for the Evo, and I haven't even driven it since the last time we put it in because of all the issues that we've been having. But now this car is gonna be perfect. So let's take Tim for his first ride.
All right, my first time in this car. The NGKs back in. Were they NGKs?
They were NGKs previously, yeah.
So we just need to get the right ones back on.
Good news is the car runs freaking strong.
It runs really good.
Clutch, dude, how hard is that clutch engage?
It freaking smacks you back.
I just can't go all the way to red line. I can get around like 5,000 before it stops, before it starts misfiring. Misfire, easily fixable. We'll put the NGKs on order. I just got the other ones because they were in stock, so we'll put the NGKs on order, get this issue fixed. But I mean, not really even an issue. It's just
it's not. It's just we changed spark plugs because we needed them at the time to get the car running, and now it's running, and we know what the issue is. So
to this clutch though. That's pretty dope. All right. Super proud of the Evo, Tim.
Man, this thing's awesome.
Yes, now we just have to get our gauge pod in and we'll be set. Since Tim's been here, we've got both cars running. Dude, we're going back to back. We're not even stopping.
Yeah, we're not stopping.
Next up, we are literally about to start working on the BRZ. That'll be the next video that you guys see. So I'm gonna go and end the Evo video here. This thing is so much better and I'm so happy. I'll definitely give you guys an update on the gauge pod once that's finished up, but we have a lot of work to do on the BRZ. So thank you guys so much for watching the Evo video. If you haven't already, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel because it does help me out a lot. I'll see all of you guys in the next one. Peace out.